Hi, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing on the introduction to cooperative societies, its meaning and definition, objectives and principles, and need for cooperative society accounting. Kindly watch the video till the end, like it, share and subscribe the channel. If you have any comments of the video, please put your comments in the comment box. Now, let's move to the presentation. We have many business organizations in India. To name a few here, sole proprietary concern, partnership firm, limited liability, Hindu undivided family, joint stock companies, and cooperative societies. And these cooperative societies have played and playing a vital role in the economic development of the country. As far as villages are concerned, they are considered as the backbone of the development of the villages in India. This cooperative technique in our country is as old as human history. When you look into the pages of the history, Kautilya's Arthashastra maintains that during the days of Mauryan Empire, a village functioned as a cooperative unit. So this cooperative society is a voluntary association of the people with have a unique purpose, or in other words to say, it is a voluntary association with the aim of rendering services to the members of the society. In this cooperative society, members are belonging to the same class. Say for example, they may be belonging to the same religion, caste, creed, or it may be like gender, or it may be like some people who are working in the same organization. So they will, in other words to say, the members or the people who have common interest, they will form this kind of a cooperative society. This is a special form of a business organization. Why it is considered as a special form of business organization? Because the motto of the cooperative society is to render service, not to make a profit. So that's why this is distinguished from a trading concern here. And the word cooperative is derived from the Latin language, Latin word cooperare, where co means with and operare means to work. It means working together to achieve some common purpose here. And every cooperative society in India must register its name under the Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912 here. As per law of cooperative society, it is an artificial person or legal entity having an independent existence, separate and distinct from that of its members. In other words to say, it enjoys a perpetual succession. Members may come, members may go, but it will not affect the continuity of the society here. It is promoted by the government also to support the weaker sections of the society. The government provides, it is governed by the statute, that is Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912 here. A cooperative society can own a property, it can sue others, it can be sued by others, it has obligations and it has a liability. Like other business organizations, a cooperative society is also incurring certain expenses and earn some income here. Today you find that in the cooperative societies, they collect pygmies from the various business, the small businesses, so which provide them loan to the people and for their business ventures also. So whatever, even it accepts deposits from its members, so that it will earn some amount of income here. So The purpose of this kind of establishment is to benefit the members here. It is not a profit oriented organization, it is a service oriented organization here. It is significant to note that the cooperative society is to serve the common man and to liberate him from the exploitation of the economically strong people and organizations. The government has been promoting the establishment of the cooperative societies to help weaker sections of the society. Various cooperative societies are working in India in various areas like consumer cooperative societies, or it may be like producer cooperative societies, service cooperative societies, marketing cooperative societies, industrial cooperative societies, etc., for the benefit of the members who establish or who form them here. Let us understand the meaning of cooperative societies. A cooperative society is an autonomous institution or an association of the people who voluntarily cooperate for their mutual, social, economic, and cultural benefits. In other words, to say, it is an association or the corporation established for the purpose of providing services on no profit, no loss basis to its shareholders or the members who own and control it. The cooperative societies are people-centered enterprises owned, controlled, and run by their members to realize their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations here. It is distinct from the other business organizations. The other organizations, they aim at a profit, whereas the basic aim of these cooperative societies is to render service. It is an association which brings people together in a democratic and equal way. So there is no any dictatorship here. The person who wants to be a member of the cooperative societies will purchase the shares, and there will be some governing body elected by those members who will be working in various capacities like a chairman, vice chairman, director, secretary, treasurer, etc. here. So the members, they elect or nominate themselves the authority to who can work on behalf of other members. Now let's understand certain definitions given by the various authorities here. H. Clark, who defines the term cooperative societies as a form of organization in which persons voluntarily associate together as human beings based on equality for the promotion of the economic interest of themselves. When it is looked into this definition, it can be understood that a cooperative society is a voluntary association. Members will, the people will not become the member of these associations on compulsory basis. It is the whim, it is the wish of a person to become the member of the cooperative societies. There is no any compulsion on the part of the organization to make the person as a member here. And this is an association of the human beings. So in other words, to say, only the individuals can form this kind of society with an ultimate aim of promoting the economic interest of themselves here. So the basic objective of this society is to promote the economic interest, to help the people in a economically independent. So for that reason here, such type of organization, this type of organization is formed. Now let us look into the definition as given by section 4 of the Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. It is a society which has its objective as a promotion of the economic interest of its members in accordance with the cooperative principles. So when it is looked into this definition here, It has objective as a promotion of economic interest. So the members of such a society should be economically independent. Their standard of living should be improved, and they are governed by the principles of cooperative, which we will discuss in the subsequent slides. The one more definition is given by V.L. Mehta. Cooperation is only one aspect of a vast movement which promotes voluntary associations of individuals having common needs who combine towards the achievements of the common economic needs. So when we look into this definition, it says that cooperation is a vast movement. It is always a continuous one. When you even look into the pre-independence period also, the cooperative movement, the cooperation movement was there during the regime of the British also. The first cooperative societies for agriculture was started in India in a place called as a Kanginhad of Gadag districts in Karnataka state, which was a pioneered the movement of the cooperative movement. It has started first cooperative credit society in the year 1805 on July 5th in Kanginhad by Siddanagowda Sandaramangowda Patil. So these associations always they have got a common needs. In other words, to say the one of the basic principles of the cooperative society is that self-help, mutual help. Always, if the person wants to do something here, not only it benefits the individual, but even it benefits the entire community, which have got a unique interest or the common interest here. And always the objective of this is to fulfill the economic needs. So that's why the government is backing these cooperative societies, because it promotes the economic interest of the weaker sections of the society, people who are downtrodden, people who have been deprived of the various facilities formed by the government here. So they will go for promotion of such thing here. From all these definitions, we can come to know that a cooperative society is an institution which is registered under the Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1912, and it is a voluntary association started with the aim of service to its members. It's a form of business where individuals belonging to the same class join their hands for the promotion of their common goals here. Now let us look into certain characteristics of the cooperative societies here. Voluntary membership. Every person joins as a member of the cooperative societies voluntarily. There is no compulsion to any person to become the member of such a society. The person who has a common need in order to fulfill his economic interest, or in order to fulfill such economic needs here, the person will join as a member of this society. Then the membership is open. The membership is open to anybody, irrespective of the caste, creed, sex, religion. Any person can become the member of such a society. So there is no any closed membership. Then a democratic management. Here, as like a company, here the management is separated from the ownership. So the person who owns a share of the society can become the member, and they can cast the vote. And one thing should be remembered here, unlike a joint stock company, a member of the cooperative society can cast his vote in the annual general meeting, irrespective of the number of the shares held by him. In other words, to say, in case of cooperative societies, one man, one vote, but in case of a joint stock company, it is one share, one vote. So here there is a democratic management in case of the society here. Then a service motive. It is not a trading one. The basic objective of the society is not to make any profit, but to render the service, to promote the economic interest of its members by undertaking some financial activities. So they may accept the deposit, they may accept the pygmy, they may accept the RD, and they may lend to the needy people, so that, and whatever the difference that they are going to earn, that is nothing but the income to the cooperative society. Then distribution of the surplus. At the end of the year, if the company is having any surplus amount with it is ultimately the share of the members. In other words, to say, it declares a dividend to its members, so that they will get the benefit of the activities here. Registration and legal status. Every society which is established in India must register its name under the Indian Cooperative Societies Act of 1904, and if they enjoy separate legal entity, a member may come, a member may go, but it goes on forever. It has a common seal. It can enter into contract. It can be sued. It can sue others. It can be sued by others. It has obligations. It has the liabilities also. So the legal status is not affected by any incident that will happen to a member. In other words, to say, a member may die, a member may go insane, a member may declare as insolvent, but which will not affect the continuity of the cooperative societies. So such a cooperative society enjoys perpetual existence. Then the liability of the members. Here the societies are of two types. That is, sometimes the liability of the members may be limited one, sometimes the liability of the members may be unlimited one. But usually the liability of the members is limited to the extent of the amount of the share agreed to be contributed by the member here. Suppose, say for example, if the share price of a cooperative society is rupees 100, and if the member has paid rupees 100 here, his liability becomes nil here. Suppose the share price is rupees 100, and if he has paid 70 rupees, 30 rupees will be the liability of such a member here. Then education and training. Of course, these societies, they are engaged in providing education to its member and training the members here. It educates the people the principle of equality, the mutuality, and the cooperation. It inculcates the habit of saving among the members. It inculcates the habit of employment of the funds with an purpose to fulfill their economic needs here. Here the training will be given to the employees as well as the members, so that their efficiency level can be increased here. Let's discuss on the principles of cooperative societies. Of course, there will be some replication of the same thing which we have discussed in the previous slide. It's a voluntary membership. As I already told you here, the membership is open to all. Irrespective of the caste, creed, color, sex, and religion, a person can become a member of any cooperative societies. Then democratic management or democratic member control here. The management of cooperative society is vested in the hands of the managing committee, who are elected by its members. So they will elect their own chairman, vice chairman, treasurer, secretary, so who are nothing but the representatives of the members here. It is done on the democratic line. In the general body meeting, the members determine the rules and regulations for the management, The managing committee functions within the framework of the principles framed by the general body. They need to work here. Autonomy here. A cooperative society enjoys the status of autonomy because it is a self-governing institute, that is a self-sufficient, self-renewing and self-controlling organization. The incident like insolvency, insane, etc., that will not affect the continuity of the business here. Then the capital here. Of course, all the members, they'll contribute their capital in the form of subscribing to the shares issued by the societies here. Each member of a cooperative society is given one vote irrespective of the number of the shares he held by the member. Nobody can control the society based on its share capital. Say, for example, a member may be owning 10,000 shares in a society, but he can cast only one vote during the annual general meeting here. Then service motive. Every cooperative society is organized to provide service to its members and not to make profit. Status of the members here. So such member can be the member irrespective of his position also. Say even a labor can also become the member, even an officer can also be the member here. So irrespective of the status enjoyed by the person in the society can be the member of a cooperative society here. Cash trading. The trading cooperative societies are carrying out their trading operations on the basis of the cash. It never allows a credit facility in its trade practice. However, it is interesting to note that it provides credit facility to its members only to help them. So in such case, they make use of their name as Credit Cooperative Society. Then mutual help. As the members are belonging to one particular this section here, so all they have got a common needs. So that's why self-help, mutual help is the basic principle of this cooperative society, and what one can do will benefit other also here. It promotes uniqueness amongst the members of the society as they are mutually helpful to each other. Now let us discuss the objectives of cooperative societies here. Every cooperative society is having certain objectives. A cooperative society is an important organization of the country. Earning profit is not the main goal of the cooperative society, rather the prosperity of the members, ensuring the rights, the dignity, change the fate, beliefs, honesty, economic as well as increase the ideas are the main goals of this society. Now let us discuss these objectives one by one. To achieve social and economic welfare. The prime objective of the cooperative society is to achieve social and economic welfare of the members. The society achieves social welfare of the members by bringing the same class of the people at one place and focus on strengthening the community they exist in or serve. The financial welfare is achieved by creating producers, cooperative society, purchasing, selling, giving loans, etc., and making financially stand alone here. Create self-dependency. The cooperative society creates self-dependency among its members in each sector of the business by providing training on different activities of the business here. Say the training may be provided with respect to the marketing of their produce or the method of manufacturing of the things here. It means a cooperative society builds its members self-dependent by appointing them to the various divisions of the business also. To organize people to help each other. The cooperative society organizes the people to help each other, as its slogan is unity is the power. It collects, organizes and utilizes them properly for the betterment of the members and the society. It employs the funds in a judicious way so that the welfare of its members can be achieved here. to create a saving mentality among the members. The cooperative society creates in the minds of the members the eagerness to save money which is used as capital in the society. It may collect the pygmies from the small business holders, or it may accept the deposits from the public so that it can be channelized for the economic growth of the country by providing the loans to the needy people at a reasonable rate of interest here. Small savings as well as the savings mentality helps to the development of the members society and to build a peaceful wealthy nation here. To provide better service, the cooperative societies provide necessary expected better service very smoothly to the members and the low level of the people of the country. It provides the services to the people who have been deprived of the privileges so that their interest can be promoted here. To create the employment opportunity, the cooperative society creates employment opportunity for the members and in the society. It is struggling hard to remove the unemployment problem in the rural area. The rural learned mass majority depends for the job opportunities which are provided by these societies, and the rural youth who cannot move away from their home, they will find the cooperative societies as a last result of the employment. To face social problems, the cooperative society faces various kinds of social problems as they believe unity can do anything for the development of the members and the nation here. So whatever may be the social evils, so which can come over with the help of these societies here. To develop standard of living of the people, the cooperative society develops a standard of living of the members by giving special training. Consequently, they contribute to the developing the country. Besides, it also aims at the developments of education, health, and knowledge of the members here. It can ask its members to take loans and also to contribute here, and thereby it makes the people to become economically strong. When the members they economically become strong here, and they can go for the improving their standard of living here. Now let us look into the need for the cooperative accounting here. These cooperative societies are the institutions dealing all kinds of business transactions. It may be a consumer cooperative society, or it may be a producer cooperative society, or it may be a service cooperative society, or it may be a marketing cooperative society, industrial cooperative society, employees cooperative societies, etc. Whatever by name it may be called, they should keep their accounts. Accounting for cooperative society means preparing, maintaining, and presenting of accounts of cooperative societies. It becomes necessary for them to maintain the accounts in a proper and systematic manner. It should be noted that the accounts of the cooperative societies follow the principles of double entry bookkeeping, but with some modifications in the procedures. Such modifications are made for the convenience of these persons who are entrusted with the responsibility of maintaining the accounts of cooperative societies here. Now let us look into the need of these cooperative societies. To know the use of resources to achieve the goals. Of course, the members they contribute their capital in the form of subscribing to the shares of these societies, and the mobilized capital must be employed in the business venture so that it can earn an income here. Of course, the basic objective is not to make profit but to render the services here. To ascertain the trading results here. Here the trading results is nothing but the difference between the income and the expenditure, so that it can ascertain its financial position at the end of the year. As like a trading concern, it can have a slight profit or the loss here. So in order to arrive at the profit or the loss, there is the need for a preparation of the cooperative accounts here. To report the shareholders on the use of the resources. During the general body meeting here, the managing committee of the society is held responsible for to the shareholders. So they must focus on how the funds raised through the various sources are employed in the services, so that it has got a profit or loss. So they are accountable. The managing committee is accountable to its members with respect to the performance of these societies here, to ascertain the financial state of the affairs of the society. It is needed to know the financial state of affairs of the society, that is the financial position of the society as shown in the balance sheet here. Then it is needed to know how the funds, how the needs of the members in the communities are fulfilled. So today you find many milk, dairy, cooperative credit societies which are providing to purchase loans to purchase the buffaloes, cows, goats for the milk vending purpose. Then similarly, there are agricultural cooperative credit society which provide loans to the farmers, which provides the fertilizers, seeds, pesticides to the farmers, so that they can make an improvement. Even there are some societies which are focusing on the promotion of the organic agriculture among the farmers. So that's why today you find many societies which render what we call it as Prathamika Krishi Patina Sahakari society. Such things have come today, so that they are focusing mainly to fulfill the needs of their class of members here. To know the policy of the investment in the technology, plant, equipment and skills here. As far as India is concerned, of course the cooperative society, a form of business organization, has a strong base in the rural area, but it has not accepted the technology in a very long way. Of course, now these cooperative societies are slowly becoming on online things have come in some cooperative societies. There are some cooperative societies which have cooperative banks, I mean to say, which have started providing the services to their customers, electronic services to their customers. There's one cooperative bank called as a Suko Bank, which has started the ATM services to its customers. But still, there's a long way for the cooperative societies to adapt themselves to the changing technology here. Still, they are in the traditional way they are functioning. There's a need for making them technology-enabled societies, so that still it can provide a better services to its customers here. Thank you for watching this.